this is why home court matters. This is why you can't have off day. This is why we can't be 11th in the league in defense, right? Like, we got to get to at least middle of the pack, all of those different things. And so as a competitor, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to coach generational talents.
Yeah.
And that outweighs the other stuff that we might have to deal with.
Brace yourself. Stephanie White unveils a stunning prediction about Caitlin Clark's future that could redefine your outlook on the upcoming season. Are you ready for this game-changing revelation?
Important.
Yeah.
But I think laying the foundation for this is what we have to do to compete at a championship level.
Yeah.
Like, this is why home court matters. This is why you can't have off day. This is why we can't be 11th in the league in defense, right? Like, we got to get to at least middle of the pack, all of those different things. And so as a competitor, it's exciting.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to coach
Stephanie White, a respected basketball analyst and experienced WNBA coach, is known for her candid takes on the sport's top talent. Recently, she shared striking insights on Caitlin Clark, the sensational player whose rapid ascent has captured the attention of fans and experts across the basketball world.
While pushing her to be her best and challenging her to step outside of her comfort zone on the floor. I have the advantage of I was an opponent, right? And so scouting her and this is what we try to do to make you uncomfortable. This is how we game planned for you. And again, being that straight shooter, like, okay, like these are the areas that we need to improve. And putting those pieces together while also thinking about the holistic version of this team that we have, who is incredibly gifted on the offensive end of the floor.
White boldly called Clark a generational talent, a rare title reserved for players who transform the game and etch their legacy into the history of basketball.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, when you think about Caitlin Clark and a generational talent, and the sometimes overlooked Kelsey Mitchell, who's been like one of the hardest workers that I've ever seen from the time I was covering her at Big Ten Network, watching her at Ohio State. And then Aaliyah Boston, who, prior to Caitlin Clark coming on the scene, was another generational talent and is, right? Like, so it's like you think about the pieces that we have and putting that all together. I hope, number one, for Caitlin, that I can be a resource. I didn't have the same stuff that she has on a global scale. Thankfully we didn't have social media at the time, which amplifies everything. But I've been through it on a smaller scale. And so hopefully I can help her navigate, some of the...
From the start, White's respect for Clark's skills was clear. Caitlin Clark isn't just great, she's extraordinary, White stated. Her vision, scoring ability, and leadership truly distinguish her. Clark's impressive stats undeniably support this praise.
Sending multiple bodies, it's everybody's bigger, faster, stronger in the W. So there's an adjustment period for every rookie coming into this league. It's going to be playing tendencies, trying to send her into analytically where her weaker areas on the floor are, make things difficult. But look, this is a really good young Indiana Fever team. They've got a lot of strong pieces around her. There is no substitute for experience. So where they're starting the season is going to look much different than where they will be at the end of the season.
White praised Clark's intangibles, her fierce competitiveness, sharp basketball IQ, and natural ability to elevate her team's performance. However, it's not just Clark's current abilities that excite White. It's the potential for her growth. She emphasized that Clark is still early in her journey, and the upcoming season could be a defining moment in her career. A key factor in this evolution, according to White, is the team surrounding Clark, a subject she addressed with equal enthusiasm. Understanding who Caitlin Clark will play alongside this season is vital, White explained. Basketball is a team sport, and even the most gifted players depend on strong synergy with their teammates to thrive. This season, Clark's supporting cast is a mix of seasoned veterans and rising stars, each bringing unique skills to the table. White noted that this dynamic could either amplify Clark's strengths or present new challenges for her to navigate. One of the critical aspects White discussed was the importance of chemistry. Chemistry doesn't develop overnight, she remarked. It requires patience, respect, and a clear understanding of each player's role. Clark will face the pressure of uniting her team into a cohesive unit, capable of competing at the highest level while continuing to shine individually.
It's interesting revisiting past comments Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White made about each other, knowing what we know now. Because it's been clear all along, I guess, in retrospect, that there was mutual love and respect between the pair. Coach White had said that Clark was going to be the player who adapted the best to the WNBA coming out of college. She defended Caitlin Clark from early season WNBA struggles. Meanwhile, Clark, who faced White's team in her first WNBA game, called her a great basketball mind.
This season highlights a striking contrast between Stephanie White's approach to Caitlin Clark and Christy Sides' coaching style from last year. It's more than just a change in leadership. It's a shift in how Clark's immense potential is recognized and nurtured. During Sides' tenure, her highly critical stance toward Clark stood out, even as the young star carried much of the team's success. In her rookie year, Clark faced intense scrutiny from Sides, despite delivering exceptional performances and demonstrating outstanding leadership on the court. Coming off a grueling schedule with little rest, Clark was met with a rigorous and often harsh evaluation of her game. While Sides' demands for excellence may have been well-intentioned, her critical approach often overshadowed Clark's achievements, adding unnecessary pressure on the emerging talent.
That rumored rift between Caitlin Clark and Christy Sides may have sparked fever coaching shakeup. Look, there's not a chance in the pit of hell that they didn't sit down and have a conversation with Caitlin Clark. Of course they did. And I'm talking about the front office, the owner, about the, her opinion on the coach.
Clark's rookie year was nothing short of a trial by fire, yet she rose to the occasion as a beacon of hope for the team, showcasing resilience and an unmatched ability to excel under pressure. Despite her brilliance, Sides' relentless critiques overshadowed Clark's stellar performances, offering little recognition for her sacrifices and contributions. The narrative seemed to focus on her shortcomings rather than her achievements. This season, however, marks a dramatic shift with Stephanie White at the helm. White's refreshing approach celebrates Clark's passion for the game, acknowledges her dedication, and creates an environment that fosters her growth and potential.
With Locked On Basketball, folks, I don't think I've heard her speak more glowingly about Caitlin Clark a day in my life. We can add up every single compliment Christy Sides has given Caitlin Clark in her pregame interviews, in her postgame interviews, following the draft, before the draft. We can add up all of those compliments, and it still won't equal the amount of praise that Christy Sides finally decided to heap on Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark's response to this season's shift in leadership has been remarkable. Under Stephanie White's mentorship, she has embraced the opportunity to refine her craft, displaying greater potential fueled by renewed confidence and vigor. The stark contrast between Christy Sides' critical oversight and White's supportive guidance defines this season. White's ability to connect with Clark on a deeper level, understanding her passion and drive, has created an environment where Clark is not just expected to perform, but to truly thrive. This evolution in coaching styles may be the catalyst that propels Clark towards cementing her place as one of the greatest players of her generation. Stephanie White, a celebrated figure in basketball with a sharp eye for talent, has once again demonstrated her expertise. Her recent insights into Clark's impact have resonated across the basketball community. White's admiration for Clark's extraordinary abilities, leadership, and influence extends beyond college basketball, highlighting her as a rising force poised to shape the future of the WNBA. White's belief in Clark's potential is a testament to the player's growing legacy and her role in the next generation of basketball excellence.
Against a team that did better than really anybody else. Going against Caitlin Clark, part of that was personnel, as she mentioned. When you got DeWanna Bonner, and you have Alyssa Thomas, and you have Dejanay Carrington, you're much more equipped for defending anybody, right? Like, that was the DNA of the Connecticut Sun. So I think the hope is that Stephanie White can bring some of that DNA over to the Fever And they're going to have to, like some of defense's effort, some of it is personnel. So they may have to make some personnel moves in order for that to fully come.
Caitlin Clark has been a phenomenon since she first stepped onto the court. Her uncanny ability to score from virtually anywhere, paired with her exceptional court vision and playmaking skills, has made her a nightmare for opponents. Clark isn't just a prolific scorer. She's a complete player who consistently elevates the performance of her teammates. Her influence on the game evokes memories of basketball's greatest legends, with many drawing comparisons to players who have transformed the sport. Stephanie White's question, "How can you defend a player like Caitlin Clark?" goes beyond simple admiration. It's a direct challenge to players and coaches across the league. What makes Clark such a formidable threat is her versatility, blending range, speed, and intelligence. Whether it's a swift drive to the basket, a deep three-pointer, or a pinpoint assist setting up an easy score for her teammates, defenders are constantly left guessing her next move. More than her impressive stats, Clark's presence on the court creates an undeniable ripple effect, redefining what it means to dominate the game.
And it's I don't know how any college team really can prepare for a Caitlin Clark, because you can't do it with one person.
Yeah.
You can't do it one-on-one, right? Like it is a whole 5-man team effort. So let me just preface all that before you go with it.
Caitlin Clark has become an inspiring role model for young athletes, showing that passion, hard work, and dedication can break barriers and set new standards in basketball. Her impact on college basketball has boosted viewership and fan engagement, shining a spotlight on women's sports and reshaping perceptions. As anticipation builds for her eventual transition to the WNBA, many believe she has the potential to be a transformative force, poised to elevate the league to new heights.
You guys offer her a bag to come join you guys?
Yeah, well, I feel like it's just so crazy because the growth that Caitlin has brought to the game, the sheer amount of money that she's making these teams, people are having to move their venues for when she comes to play, and she's getting paid like $75.
Stephanie White's insights emphasize the far-reaching impact of Caitlin Clark's game. Her statement points to a future where defensive strategies will have to evolve to contain players like Clark, whose influence is poised to challenge traditional approaches. Clark's presence on the court will also inspire others to raise their level of play, fostering a more competitive and dynamic environment in women's basketball. The challenge of defending Clark goes beyond her physical abilities. It's also about her mental sharpness. She has an uncanny ability to read defenses with a level of sophistication that often leaves opponents scrambling to keep up. This mental edge, paired with her physical talents, creates a player who is not only incredibly difficult to defend, but also a joy to watch. White's remarks underscore that Caitlin Clark is a revolutionary force in the game. Defenders will need to constantly adjust to her skills, and the question of how to contain her will become even more relevant as she continues to grow, pushing coaches and players to innovate new strategies.
I've never seen, I can't even say maybe Steph in his early years, but I've never seen a basketball player throw up threes like that and just be so accurate from that distance. I'm gonna give it up to Caitlin Clark on that. You can't deny that. That's eye test. You don't have to be a basketball player. My mom don't watch a lick of basketball, can watch Caitlin Clark and tell me that girl could.
The excitement within the Indiana Fever was palpable when Stephanie White was named head coach. The change was exactly what the team needed, and the buzz in the locker room was immediate and contagious. Players eagerly shared their enthusiasm for White's leadership, expressing a renewed sense of hope and anticipation for the season ahead. This was a fresh start, and the team felt it. Among the many voices supporting White's return to the Fever, Caitlin Clark stood out. She wasted no time in expressing her excitement on Instagram, sharing how eager she was to work with White. Her post resonated with both fans and teammates, underscoring the respect and admiration Clark already had for the new coach. For Clark, this wasn't just about the new management. It was about what White's appointment meant for her role on the team and her future in the league. White's player-focused coaching style marks a significant departure from the critical and rigid methods that Clark faced in the past. Clark thrives in an environment that encourages her to play her natural game, and White's approach promises to give her the freedom to flourish without the constraints of excessive criticism or overly structured tactics.
When you think about the great point guards and post players that our game, not just our league, but our game has seen, they are going to go down in history as the greatest. And I'm excited about the opportunity to work with them. I'm excited about the opportunity that we have to build from those starting points and build out, and for the longevity that those two could have in Indiana, in Indianapolis, and hanging banners in this building. All of those things are so exciting. The future's really bright, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
With Stephanie White at the helm, Caitlin Clark will no longer be burdened by the need to juggle multiple roles on the court, an issue that often diluted her impact in previous seasons. White's approach allows Clark to focus on her strengths, knowing she will be supported in a way that maximizes her potential. This shift not only benefits Clark, but also enhances the performance of the entire Fever roster. Under White's leadership, the team will adopt a more balanced and dynamic system that plays to each player's strengths, fostering a more cohesive and effective unit. This new environment alleviates pressure on Clark, enabling her to thrive, while also encouraging her teammates to elevate their game. It's a collective effort where everyone benefits from a more harmonious approach to basketball. In conclusion, the appointment of Stephanie White marks a transformative moment for the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. This fresh start sets the stage for a promising season where Clark can play with confidence and freedom. With a coach who believes in her potential, Clark is poised to take her game and the Fever to new heights.
I think it's really incredible, not just the offers that she's getting from multiple avenues, but the momentum that women's basketball has gotten heading out of the bubble, so to speak. The WNBA has continued with positive momentum. I think Caitlin Clark will choose the WNBA and the longevity of her career in the WNBA, but what an outstanding opportunity it is, and what an investment in women's.
Stephanie White is renowned for her tactical insight and her ability to motivate players, and her leadership is expected to revitalize the Indiana Fever, a team that has faced challenges in recent years. With a roster filled with promising young talent and seasoned veterans, White's strategies could be the key to turning the Fever into serious contenders this season. Her coaching philosophy focuses on striking a balance between offensive versatility and defensive strength. White's proven ability to recognize player strengths and foster team unity makes her a perfect fit for this team. If she can unlock the full potential of the Fever's lineup, the team may surprise the league with a deep playoff run. White's return also brings back memories of her past success, including leading the Fever to the WNBA Finals in 2015. Fans are eager to see if she can build upon and surpass that achievement with this talented squad.
But I got off the phone with Stephanie White this morning talking about this decision, and man, she was ecstatic. I was so happy for her because you could understand why this was needed for her in the first place. And it starts with proximity of location. It's not just starting with Fever. It's not with the Caitlin Clark madness. No, it's being as close as home as.
With Stephanie White's potential resurgence and Caitlin Clark's return to the court, this season promises to be electrifying. Basketball fans are on the edge of their seats, eagerly watching as both stories unfold, each holding the power to reshape the narrative of women's basketball this year. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.